So the way that I chop onions is I get the major dry stuff off the outside. You know me, I kind of like to use sriracha, but I'm holding off on that. I'm going to throw the lemons back in there. One more taste before we cook it a little bit longer. Okay, here we go. It's really nice. Hi there, and welcome to Clueless Cooking 101. I'm Tammy, and this is Ed. Here at Clueless Cooking 101, recipes are optional, measurements are questionable, and the smoke alarm is basically our sous chef. If you're here for the laughs and to learn a little bit about cooking and to watch me try to not burn down the kitchen, you're in the right place. Okay, Clueless Cooks, let's have some laughs and have some fun in the kitchen. Clueless Cooks. Today we are going to make some chicken soup, and there's plenty to eat, plenty to freeze, and plenty to share. So stick with me, we'll get going. And first thing I'm going to do is get you the info on the ingredients. They're all from Walmart. So I'm going to start with the chicken. And you know me, I buy free range organic chickens. You don't have to, but I buy it anyway. It's a little bit more expensive. And I'll show you how we cook it in the soup in a minute. I use celery and one of my aromatics. I just got like a really big onion because most of the onions that I bought were too small. So you need a large onion. So we're gonna saute some celery, an onion, and some garlic. This is organic. Occasionally I get lucky. Sometimes they have smaller containers of it. We're going to use some basil because it helps the flavor. I'm going to put some parsley in there because you know me, I like to use parsley in everything because it has lots of iron. I have organic shredded carrots. I'm going to put those in there, and I forgot to say I'm going to saute those too with the other stuff that's a little bit firmer. I don't use noodles, I use rice. We're going to use some organic jasmine rice. But when I was looking through the rice, there are packages of basmati, organic white, all kinds of mixtures of things. You can use rice, you can use noodles, or you can use nothing. Totally up to you. I happen to buy organic jasmine rice, Walmart's brand. It was like $4 or something like that. And I only use 1 cup of it. But anyway, and then while it's cooking, I float a lemon in there. And I got out the better than bouillon chicken just in case it's wimpy. And then of course we're going to use some salt and pepper. When we saute these veggies just to soften them a bit, I normally use olive oil. This time I'm going to use coconut oil. True confession, because I'm out of olive oil and I didn't know it. But coconut oil, this is organic, unrefined from Walmart, and it works super well in terms of sauteing things, and it has a little higher heat temperature. I'm not that familiar with what's better oil-wise, but this is coconut oil. Oh look, it's warm enough that it's actually kind of runny, so we're just going to dump it in and saute some stuff in it. So for our chicken soup, let's get started. Hey Clueless Cooks, sorry to interrupt this episode. I know you're probably looking at your social media feeds, so since you're already doing that, check us out. Check out Clueless Cooking 101 on TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, Substack, and I even have a blog. We have videos and written posts. So check us out on all those social media sites, and we'd love to hear your comments. We're going to use 3 stalks of organic celery. And rather than rinse the whole thing, we're just going to rinse the 3 stalks that we're going to use. And we're going to put the chopped veggies in there, saute them. So to start, we're going to start with 2 tablespoons of coconut oil to saute our veggies. First thing we're going to do is chop the celery. You know, I take off the funky ends. we're going to chop those 3 stalks. I cut them in half lengthwise. So the pieces, well, you probably can't see this that well, but they're not that big. And once they saute and cook down, they're definitely bite-sized. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure these 3 stalks of celery, so you'll know how much 3 stalks of chopped celery actually is. It looks like it's going to be maybe 2 cups. Okay, 3 stalks of, 3 stalks of chopped celery is looking like 2 cups of chopped celery if you want to measure that way. Just go for the 3 stalks. If you don't like celery, don't put it in there, but I highly recommend it because it's super good for you and it really helps with flavor and the texture. It's almost a cup. We'll take it. 2 cups or 3 stalks of chopped celery. Next, we're going to put in the stuff that we saute, these shredded organic carrots from Walmart, from the produce section. Since we did 2 cups of celery, we're going to do 2 cups of carrots also. Okay, next thing we're going to do is chop an onion. This is this says sweet D, so this must be a sweet onion. I don't know that much from one onion to the next. So the way that I chop onions is I get the major dry stuff off the outside, cut it in half, and I think I cut it in half again, trying to get the pieces into bite size. Oh yeah, this is really easy to slice. This must be, this is a new kind. It was just big, so I bought it. So now we're going crosswise, and it's making bite-sized pieces of onion. Okay. Now I'm digging into the garlic. This is minced organic garlic. I got it, and they have it in the produce section of Walmart. And I'm going to give 3 tablespoons of this and put it in here. This is really good for you. It keeps the vampires away. So I hear. We're going to saute this. I'm going to say saute your celery, onions, carrots, and garlic for probably 15 minutes on high. And I might tell you otherwise, but right now that's where we're going to start. Hey Clueless Cooks, another interruption. If you will check out my website, which is cluelesscooking101.com, I'd really appreciate it. We have a blog with some recipes, and we also are going to have merchandise coming up soon so that you can have a cool apron like mine. But in the meantime, just check out our website, and I'd really appreciate it. We'll see you there. I'm going to stir this up a little bit and mix up the garlic and the onions and the celery and all of that. By the way, I don't season the stuff that I'm sauteing, but we are going to use some salt and pepper. You know me, I kind of like to use sriracha, but I'm holding off on that. Let's see how this ends up tasting once we put the chicken in and the water, and we'll get it going. Oh, by the way, that's what they look like. Kind of ugly, but it'll come out. It'll really enhance the flavor a lot. Okay, this is Italian parsley, and we're going to add 1 cup. We're going to chop it. It's fresh. When you saute your veggies initially for this chicken soup, just keep your eye on it. Stir it occasionally. Don't let any of the veggies brown. You know, we kind of want to soften them. Okay. This parsley has like almost like a geranium type flavor. Probably a good, if I had to guess, it's probably also a good antibiotic for your body. Probably parasites that live in your gut probably don't like it. This is about 1 cup of parsley. I can't tell you how much to cut off the end of the bunch of the fresh parsley that I bought, but I got really lucky, and it's 1 cup-ish. We're going to add that in a little bit once we put the whole chicken in. And by the way, we are going to put in a whole chicken. You can use a cut-up, I think they're called fryers. I think you can use a cut-up fryer. I just get the whole chicken, and then we have to debone it, take the meat off of it, but we're going to save the carcass. And you know what we're going to do with the carcass is we're going to make bone broth. That's why we save the stuff that's probably going to be on the inside of this. I'm going to just stir the stuff that's sauteing. Oh, I did what I said not to do, which is to let some stuff brown. I didn't stir it enough. I'm going to turn it down to medium. Okay, that stuff's kind of sauteed, or it's pretty softened up. I'm turning it way down on low so I can do this chicken thing. Okay, I want to show you this really cool thing that I bought at the thrift store. You can probably buy it at a real store too, but it fits right down inside this stock pot, and you put your chicken in that. So when you take the chicken out, everything drains. So this is what we do, is we put the whole chicken in that strainer that is okay to cook with, that fits right inside the stock pot. That's what it looks like. It just lives right down in there. All right, I use pink Himalayan salt. It comes in a bag. You can buy it lots of different ways, but I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons, as we cook this chicken, of pink Himalayan salt, and 1 tablespoon of organic black ground pepper. And then, guess what? Here's that chopped parsley. I'm gonna put that in there. And now, in the recipe, there is a lemon. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this lemon in half, and we're gonna float it in the soup. Really helps the flavor. The other thing that I bought is I bought this fresh basil. And that's also from the produce department at Walmart. And I'm going to chop it a little bit. You can use dried basil. It's what I used to use until I got turned on to fresh herbs and how much different they make things taste. So you can either use dried basil. I would say use at least 2 tablespoons of dried basil. If you're going to use fresh basil, we're going to go for 1/4 cup. It's very pungent, smells good, super good for you. All right, so let's see if we have 1/4 cup. Yeah, well, if I smash it in there. Okay, so we're going to pop that in there. Secret ingredient is filtered water. Okay, there's 1 pitcher of water. Pitcher number 2, how are we doing? Oh man, barely a dent. We're gonna have to have 2 more. I think we could get maybe 1 more. It's not totally up to the dot yet. Let's see how high it is on this thing. I think we can get 1 more in there. We're gonna make so much chicken soup. You're gonna be asking yourself, what the heck are you gonna do with all this stuff? Well, you're gonna freeze it, you're gonna eat it, you're gonna give it away, whatever you want to do with it, but it's very, very impressive that this is homemade, made from scratch. Do not skim off the fat. You can, but that's highly overrated. A lot of the flavor and a lot of the, I think it's the antibacterial properties, but I'm not 100%, is in the fat that's on the top. Don't skim it off. All right, Clueless Cooks, our half hour is up from simmering this chicken after we got it to a boil. We were simmering it on low, and we use this meat thermometer. You don't necessarily have to do it, but after half hour to 45 minutes, chicken's always done. So we're gonna take this chicken out, and we're gonna let it cool just a moment, and then we're gonna debone it. And deboning means we're just gonna take the meat off of the bones of the chicken, and then put it back in the pot And all of the herbs and lemon and all that other stuff we're going to put in there too. And then we're going to season it to taste. Let it cook for just a little bit, not a whole lot. And then we're done. It's pretty simple, and then we'll let it cool so that we can put it in containers, but I'll show you the containers we're going to use because they're great, 2 to 3 servings. Put it in the freezer, give it away, or you can, these are plastic, that's why we have to cool it, but you can also use glass. I just haven't gone to the trouble because I have so many of these plastic containers with the screw-off lids and people really like them. So anyway, let's go get the chicken out of the out of the broth and let it cool so that we can debone it. So you know me, I just can't resist this sriracha. And we're going to start out with a tablespoon of sriracha in this whole pot of chicken stock, chicken broth. It's got, you know, those veggies, celery and onions and carrots and garlic in there. But we're going to put a little bit of this in and see if we can get away with not adding any more salt, which I have here just as an emergency, or without adding better than bouillon, both of which, you know, you might need it, just depending on how you like things to taste. So, okay, Eddie, you want to take a picture of this chicken before we start taking it apart?
I can click the picture.
You got it? Okay. Here we go. We're draining the herbs. Okay. So, guess what's at the bottom of this bowl is a bunch of broth. We're going to go ahead and pour it back in there. What we're going to do is we're going to put all the stuff from the chicken that we're not going to use. We're going to put it in this red bowl because, you know, we're going to make bone broth out of it. Save it for bone broth unless you're just really tired of making bone broth. So when we debone the chicken, what we do is we kind of pull it apart. And that doesn't mean that it's not still hot. You can wait until it cools. And what are we doing? And rather than cutting it into little pieces, kind of just shredding it, if you will, into strips. You can make, and if you want to cut them with a knife, you can do that. It's just a little too commercial looking for me. And we're going to take all of the chicken. We're going to take the white meat, the dark meat. I've already put the wings in that bowl because I use those for making broth. It's just too much skin and too little meat to mess around with the wings. Okay, I'm going to take some more skin off of the legs. And now we're going for the dark meat. You have to be really careful because there are bones and I call it gristle. There's something else. I forget what they call it. Connective tissue that's a little chewy. It's great for bone broth, but it's probably not great for chicken soup. Ooh, let's turn this chicken upside down. Take some of the skin off. I have heard that some of the best chicken meat is on the underside, and there's not a lot of it, but make sure you get it because it's got a ton of flavor. Okay, almost there. And I bet you're wondering why that cup of rice has been sitting there. It's because we're going to add it just for a little bit of carb, because otherwise not much in the way of carbs in this. Balances it out nicely. We're going to use jasmine rice because it's got a really pretty flavor. You can use whatever kind of rice you want. Just don't use like that minute rice or whatever because that's probably not really rice. I don't know what it is, but I know what it isn't. I've never liked the texture of it. It tastes funky. Okay, here's our 1 cup of rice. And pour it right in there. Stir it in. Now we're going to put it back and cook it a little bit longer. Not much. But before we do that, let's taste it. See if you think it needs anything. I think it needs a little bit more salt. we're going to add 2 teaspoons. And if you're on a salt-restricted diet or a sodium-restricted diet, you don't have to do this. It tastes really good, actually, without it. But this just steps it up a notch. Okay. Okay. One more taste before we cook it a little bit longer. Yeah, just needed a teeny tiny bit of salt, and if you would rather use better than bouillon, ooh, there goes a carrot. Here's our actual finished soup, and we're going to put it on high for like 15 minutes. So we just want to cook that rice a little bit. Okay, Clueless Cooks, we are officially finished with our chicken soup. We're going to do a taste test because we know it's going to be terrific. And then I'm going to show you how to, show you how to put it into, this is a glass container. You can use glass when it's warmer, when it's hot. These are the plastic containers that I got at the Dollar Tree. They're terrific for freezing, so is the glass. So anyway, first thing that we're going to do is we've had all of this boil to cook the rice and just to give it one final boil. And oh, and you now have my permission to remove the lemons, as they were for flavoring. We're not going to eat those, obviously. So I say overall, Clueless Cooks, this is probably an hour-and-a-half project, but there is so much food here and so many meals that you can make out of this that don't be afraid to invest the time. It's worth it. Okay, here we go. It's really nice. Nobody makes chicken soups like this. Okay, so if you want a little heads up, there is something called pozzola. And I guess that's technically kind of Mexican chicken soup. And they take fresh iceberg lettuce, I'm not going to do it, and fresh avocado. And then they spoon the soup over that. Oh, and they use hominy, which is, I don't know what they do to corn to make it turn into hominy, but you can just buy it in a can and drain it off. I don't know how to make my own. I probably do it with my own bone broth. I'll deal with that later. But maybe half a cup of hominy, half an avocado sliced, and a little bit of iceberg lettuce, and then you put the chicken soup on top of that, and then you have pozzola. It's fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to, as we're finishing up, I'm using a small ladle because this glass jar has a narrow mouth. And I can spoon in some chicken and some veggies and some rice. Get in there. And because I'm using a smaller ladle, I'm going to expedite this and use a cup to scoop out, this cup, to scoop out some broth, put in there on top of the chicken and the veggies and the rice and all of that. And there you have it. If you want to package your chicken soup, refrigerate it, freeze it, that's what it looks like. Here's the little bit of fat that's on the top that I'm imploring you to not skim off. A lot of flavor in there. So that's the end of our cooking organic chicken soup from scratch. The ingredients are very simple. It takes a little bit of time. However, you're going to have soup for a month or two. And it's a really nice gift idea for other people if you want to. Take a jar, if somebody's having an event. Don't take a bottle of wine, take a jar of something that you've made yourself. People love that. And then of course you can brag and say, you know, I'm learning to cook, or I'm brushing up my cooking skills and I brought you this. They'll really, really appreciate it. And in the meantime, enjoy your soup. Again, remember, it might be nice with some French bread or some bruschetta, a little side salad, and nice, light dinner that you will be proud of to have made. And I would say happy eating, and if you have any suggestions on how to make this recipe better, just put it in the comments section down below. Remember to like and subscribe. Clueless Cooking 101, really appreciate that. And enjoy your chicken soup. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and for supporting this Clueless adventure. Looks like we all survived another round of Clueless Cooking 101. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell because it only gets messier from here.